There are two types of artists. Like inside of you, there are two wolves. So inside of art community, we have two types of artists. We're gonna do the video like a wolf meme. Let's base it on that. So one type thinks they're the best artist on the planet. Goddamn, god complex pieces of shit. And the other type is just a bunch of emo that hate themselves and they think the worst of their artworks. They also hate being called an artist. Like the people will be screaming at you, "Don't call me an artist, ew!" Like shut the fuck up. You work as a designer. So
got complex pieces of shit.
this type, you've probably saw them if you were in an art school of any type. You've stumbled upon some of them because they are there because of the parents' money or whatever the fuck. They are bored. They want to become artists because they don't know what to do in life. They are basically useless. They don't even know how to do art properly most of the time. They just copying other people or just other artworks for that matter and put a little twist of theirs on them, which is just basically like adding a pattern on the painting. You know what I'm talking about. If you look, you can tell by the painting that it was painted by a rich kid that has never worked in their life. They somehow have their own shop and the company car with the paintings printed on the car, and they're like 20. Like, how the you open your own shop, own a new car at that age? It's fucking impossible unless you come from rich parents. It's actual bourgeoisie class painted by an actual bourgeoisie person. They're usually talentless pretender, or if they're lazy enough, they will just print something, print a good quality photo, and then paint some sort of patterns over it. Does shit by accident and calls it a genius, and they try to convince everybody that they know what they're doing. They have no idea, no clue whatsoever of what they are doing because they weren't really paying attention in the class. They weren't even attending the classes because daddy paid for university anyway, so you're gonna pass like that. Has all social media, usually, like all of them, and has like bunch of followers on all of them as well. Because people aren't drawn by their art more so because they're like hot, or maybe not really hot, but just show ass or tits, for instance. Like you've saw that on Instagram, I'm 100% sure. Almost naked lady with a good painting. It's painting, it's good on its own sometimes, but there's this which is completely naked next to it, which is unnecessary. That is bizarre to me. While speaking just about being an artist, they will call themselves that all the time, even if them start drawing a head with a U shape. And these types of be posting like school kills artists. No, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. School actually kind of helps artists. Artistic schools, I mean. And also, you're not even showing up to the classes anyways. So shut the fuck up. And the only work they will sell is through Instagram, but because incels will try to buy as many as they can to show off their wealth. Maybe somehow she'll fuck them because they bought their paintings, which totally doesn't make sense, but you know how incels think sometimes. And through their shops, because they have the shop in the center of one of the biggest cities in the country somehow. So there's plenty of tourists that just stumble upon the store and be like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that bag. I will buy the bag. So many different people buying this shit. And please, god damn it, stop printing art on everything. Like, I just had enough cups, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, fucking shopping bags with Starry Night of Van Gogh or a fucking Mona Lisa. Come on, just stop with that lady already. But I digress. So they usually sell their work, but after the death, literally everyone forgets about them. These types of artworks, they end up in thrift stores for like $2 to $5. It's just cheap junk, kitsch. No one buys it, no one wants it because the art has to defend itself with its form. And even if you don't know shit about art, you can tell if someone has an idea of how to do it or not. Like really, if you will compare stuff, because I know most of y'all won't see that right away, but after comparing it to something better, you will instantly see the difference in between artworks. So, like the video, emo that hate themselves. They actually have talent, but they won't admit it for nothing. And even if they create something really, really good, they will say it's by accident, even though you can see that there's been thousands of hours of practice behind this and also knowledge, like real life solid knowledge. And we ain't that stupid, we can tell just by looking at the painting. If you look long enough and learn enough about the piece, you can puzzle everything out yourself. They usually have no money. They don't really have any social media. Or if they do, they just have an Instagram that they barely using and they put like their worst shit there because they are too afraid and too critical of themselves to put something actually good up there. It's into art because who knows why? It's the way it is. I think it's retarded. It might slightly be, to be honest. They have no shop, no space to create. They create wherever they are. And if they are selling stuff, it's because someone just invited themselves to their apartment and they're like, oh, cool shit, I want to buy it. You know, everyone knows this type of extrovert that will invite themselves into your home. So usually if they sell something, it's mostly by accident. And at some point, they usually end up working as some type of artist. Either it's like VFX effects or being a graphic designer. They end up as like art director. They might do like animation, working as sculptors for props and such, but they will still refuse to call themselves an artist. And they will like fucking kill you if you call them that. And I will not stop calling them that because fuck you. Your income is from creating art. You're an artist. That's the basic definition of it. Even those rich pieces of shit, they can technically call themselves an artist because they sell shit. That's the difference between amateur and professional. Professional is the one that sells their work. They live off of it. They are also in art school, but they don't want to share anything with their mates or with anybody really. They just do art because they do it. And when they die, they're famous as shit because they are actually good. And when you're dead, people don't care about the type of person you are or how good your networking is. It's just pure art left there alone. And these motherfuckers usually win in that game. But after death, they do have miserable lives, but they will live forever through their art. So I don't know. What do you think? It's better to have shitty life but not be forgotten, or to have relatively good life, happy life, lots of connections, but then forgotten with time because you weren't good enough. You just convinced yourself you were. What do you think? Type that down in the comments. And to conclude that video, for it to make sense, I guess, to the wolf meme, because the original wolf meme says, in every one of you, there are two wolves. And I've started by comparing two different types of artists. Of course, they're distinguished, two different categories, so it doesn't really make sense to the meme, right? But I think in at least some of us, maybe even in most of us, there are two wolves. One wants to be rich kid, piece of shit, to have their own shop, to have a success while they alive. And maybe, just maybe, they won't be forgotten because they will be good enough. And in every one of us, there's this fucking emo kid that usually comes in the winter for some reason. I never really got that experience because my whole year is basically the same to me, but I know there's like 90% of artists that are sad as fuck in the winter somehow. And they stop creating, or even if they do, they think bad, it's really bad. But that's good. You have to be both. Because these are extremes. And we don't like extremes. Because, you know, extremes aren't good. So it's good and healthy to have two wolves buried within the artist. Subscribe and you can fuck off and die.